Hi, I'm Mike McDonald, Kindred Moon Paranormal, and here we are at Sallies House. We just arrived here and walked around the location, checked out each room, and there's a very strong heaviness in the place. Finding it just a little bit hard to breathe. We're going to take you around, and I'm going to show you each room, so that way you're kind of affiliated with what's happened in this place. Follow me. This is the front room, of course. This is reportedly where the TV would come off and on, and by itself they turn it off. Start to walk upstairs, it would turn itself back on. And there's been a presence reported in this area.
We moved in 1992, the end of 1992. I'm looking for a house to start our family and grow our family. And found this quaint little house, seemingly perfect next to where your brother lived. Mm-hmm. It had just been renovated by the gentleman who just bought the house like a month prior. And we moved in and thought everything was great.
Yeah, little did we know.
This is the stairway where they tucked the pictures and caught the apparition or the ghost on the stairs. So let's go on up and I'll show you the rooms.
Just little activities, lights turning off and on, and I can remember sitting in the living room watching TV in the evening, and the ceiling light had the light globes on it, and they would dim really, really low.
Almost like mood lighting.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And we had the electrical checked, and it didn't have a dimmer switch or anything. It was just a flip-on, flip-off switch. And after so many weeks of this, Tony finally said, "Oh, we must have a ghost." Just in jest. Not we, at this point, we still did not fathom that we had a ghost, and it was quite ironic that we had, in fact, a ghost.
Yeah.
This room here is the nursery. This is where a lot of the activity went on, such as the dolls all coming together in a circle in the middle of the room a couple times. There's reported a lot of activity in this room, and it feels really heavy in this room. This room and the other room I'm about to show you has the most heavy feeling going on. Let's go.
And little things, pictures turned upside down on the wall. The nursery room toys would turn off by themselves.
Yeah. I mean, one particular instance, the over the crib in the baby's room, we had that little carousel hanging, and I walked by there one day, and it just slowly started, and I kind of stopped, and I looked at it, and I started walking away again. It started playing again, and then it just got faster and faster, and I think that moment I thought, okay, that's not right. We have
well, you
something
came
here.
flying downstairs, just he was rattled. I mean,
because I couldn't figure out how I could, I could blow off it just moving slowly. It got wound too tight or something, but the way it just picked up speed the more I watched it, so it was pretty spooky.
This room right here is the original main bedroom. This is where the door slammed shut, and he was hearing a lot of the voices. He couldn't get out, so this is where the presence of one of the older ladies was reported to be. It also is the other main room of the heaviness that you feel while you're here. So hopefully we're going to set up the DVR camera soon. I'm going to take you to one last room, which is referred to as the boys' room.
Taylor was born probably about 6 months after we moved in, and ever since his birth, he was waking like every hour on the hour, in the middle of the night, and he'd be clean, he'd be dry, he'd be fed, he should have been happy as a lark, and he would wake almost every hour in the hour, and not just wake up kind of stirring, but I mean,
almost like something startled him.
Yeah, or poked him, or I mean, it was significant.
This room right here is referred to as the boys' room. It is reported to have some kind of activity in here, but as far as I know, it's not as much. It doesn't have as heavy of a feeling as the other two rooms, but we're going to set up cameras in every room just to make sure we have it covered, and that way we can have all the bases covered and see if we can catch some evidence for you guys.
Weeks, and my sister decided that she would come down and try and help out with the whole new baby syndrome thing. And while she was there, she took over for 2 nights for us until we got a little missing our newborn.
Mm-hmm.
She kept the baby downstairs with her, and baby slept fine through the nights. Not a problem at all. And so that was really interesting. And Karen stayed for about a week. And her last day there, we decided to rent, some wild, haunted, scary videos, and we spent most of the day at your mom and dad's.
Yeah, we were just gonna come back and chill out.
Yeah. And that was a night that kind of changed it all. I mean, we smack dab, face to face with the fact that we had a ghost.
All right, this is the basement area. Come on down and I'll show you. Whoa, that is a creepy hole. I don't know what this is. It doesn't feel as heavy down here, but I can tell. But you can tell that this is the original foundation for this house. You can tell by the rock that's here. So yeah, we're gonna put up a camera down here. See what we can catch. Okay. I don't know what this black stuff is. Or this hole over here. Can you get a shot in there?
Yeah, I had come home and I was the first one to go upstairs, and I'd walked by the nursery and kind of out of the corner of my eye caught that the toys in the nursery, especially the stuffed animals, had been taken off their shelves and put in a real nice circle in the floor with one sitting in the center of it. And I thought, all right, that's kind of odd. I just figured it was Deb or her sister that did it for some reason. So I come downstairs and asked Deb, why'd you set the dolls all off the shelves and on the floor in the circle? And she was clueless what I was talking about. So of course they wanted to go up and see. So we all walked up together, and we couldn't figure it out. We thought, okay, we were gone. My brother lived next door. Maybe they came in the house and they're just trying to play a trick on us or something. So we put all the toys back up on the shelves, walked out of the room, shut the light off, and before we could even make it all the way down the stairs, the light flicked back on. So we just kind of stopped, and it's a good thing we were all together because we knew it was none of us. So we all went back to the top of the stairs and looked in, and all the toys were off their shelves again in that same circle. And that floored me. I was like, it just seemed like split second.
All right, so far, during the day of our stay here at Sallies House, we've had some personal experiences, from something growling at me upstairs to feel like being touched, or something pinching me. And a couple other members actually had some experiences like that as well. We met with the old attendants. They seemed very, very nice people. Spoke with them about some stuff and their experiences here. The man seemed to have a lot of scratches and suffering from a lot of attacks from this place. They've really been through a lot, and hopefully we can find some evidence that can, back or add to what they collected so far. So I'm really pumped up about this investigation, and we'll see what goes on.
My first apparition that I saw in the house was a little girl. I'd come home from work. It was about 7 in the morning. And I'd walked in the kitchen and thought, well, I'm going to get some orange juice before I go upstairs, try to go to sleep. So I got in the fridge and got a glass of orange juice and took it over the counter, and I started to pour it. And when I turned around, this little girl was standing right there in front of me, probably 4 foot across from me, and just literally scared me to death. I know it was a little girl, and she didn't so much look threatening. I mean, I could see her, but yet I could see the door behind her. But I remember the look on her face was almost like she was just as surprised to see me. Her eyes just got big, and she's like that, and it just, I dropped my glass, and I feel so brave now, but I did. I just trucked upstairs, and I think I fell down at the side of the bed trying to wake her up, telling her, oh my God, I seen her. I saw a little girl.
Okay, here we are at the Sallies House, which I've been waiting to get in for years. I'm very excited to be here. Has a few personal experiences thus far, even in the daytime. A couple of episodes I felt like I was getting poked kind of with a needle sensation, but it was not painful. I just heard a noise.
Wait, did you hear that?
I just heard a noise in there.
Make that noise again. What was that?
What was that?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Can you make that noise again?
The cat?
There's no cats in here. Hello? Nothing. That's weird. Nothing. We're gonna close this.
Should you look out the back door to see if there might be a cat activated?
Anybody out here? Kitty, kitty, kitty. Nothing. Okay, no nothing. Huh. That was weird.
I found myself in like a teeter-totter kind of a thing where, you would have activity and you would go for days, weeks, and sometimes even months without any activity at all. And during the time you're having activity, you think, wow, we really do have a ghost. This is really paranormal. And then when you don't have activity, you're thinking, well, surely there had to be a logical explanation for it, or my mind was thinking, making it up, or
Yeah, you're
drifting,
constantly making excuses, what could be doing it. And it just comes to the point where you just can't make any excuses anymore. When something actually lifts up off a table and moves 3 foot in front of you, I mean, there's just no logical explanation for it.
Is there anybody here that would like to communicate with us? Could you start by please telling us your name?
Hold your flashlight down a little bit. Sorry.
We brought some toys here. Thought that you might want to play with them. You could actually write something on the little screen thingy there, or play with the balls or the stuffed animal. Feel free to play with those tonight. Do you know what the date is? Connie, you got any questions?
Could you tell us who you are? Did you live in this house? Did you live next door?
And it eventually got to that point to where things were being moved off tables.
In front of other people and other witnesses. And then sightings came in and brought in different paranormal investigators and people that were more specialized in different aspects of investigating or researching or whatnot. And little by little, you know, Tony was scratched their first time up. And little by little, each time they came up, it was like more excitement or more
energy that was there in the house. It seemed to escalate, and to the point to where I'd really gotten to like a lot of people in the sightings crew. I mean, you looked forward to them coming, but at the same time, it was like, man, I really. Same time, I was almost scared when they came up
because they knew he was going to get scratched.
Yeah, at that point, I didn't know how far it could go or anything. So it was interesting but scary at the same time.
You can communicate with us through this device she holds in her hand. You don't have to touch it, but if you just stand right in front of it.
Actually, I'll lay it down so you don't have to come near me if you don't want to, and we'll back up.
And it won't hurt you. But if you can stand in front of it or touch it and make the lights go off, we'll know you're here and we can ask you questions through it. It makes pretty lights. It'd be a lot of fun.
It's very pretty.
Do you understand what we're saying to you?
Hair's starting to stand up on my right arm.
Are you standing next to Mike?
I don't feel any temperature difference.
I don't feel no breeze or nothing either.
I can't even do the temperature. It's about a degree cooler by the window. That's about it.
That's expected.
Heard a noise out in the hall area.
Yeah.
Heard something?
This is a little creak.
Can you make that noise again?
Well, and he would get scratched, he would get burned, he would, you know, a lot of us would have personal experiences, even the crew, cold spots and hair standing up on end and electrical charges and...
Yeah, I think before they all left, I think every member experienced something, which was good. I mean,
well, it
good
kind
for
of
our
validated
benefit.
that we weren't the
Yeah.
only ones or that we weren't making stuff up.
How many of you are here?
Can you make any sounds?
Can you tap on the wall for us? Like that? Do you like it here? What holds you to this place?
If you're here, can you give us a gentle sign? Touch one of us. Pull on my shirt.
Could you come up and touch one of these devices that we have in our left hands with the pretty green lights on it? Can you come up and touch the green lights for us? Not getting any odd readings or nothing. So we know if we get something in this room, then they probably are legit. Do you like your toys? What's your favorite toy in here? you sometimes look at the people who walk by out your window?
I would say probably our second year in the house was probably the worst because things were escalating quite a bit. I had always sensed that it wasn't good, but I was always brought up that way. You have a spirit in your house, it's a ghost, it's not good. In fact, I'd really never thought much about ghosts until living there. I just didn't put a whole lot of faith in it. And it sure changed my mind.
But your initial thought on it all about it being more on the darker side and not a very good thing, and more of a demonic kind of thing. There was probably more truth in that than we ever realized and didn't realize until many years out, and we went back and started investigating the house itself.
Yeah, what was happening to me didn't seem like something a 5-year-old girl or 7-year-old girl would be doing.
Where'd it come from?
I heard that.
From where? What area?
I don't know. It was loud.
I hear a squeaking noise.
It wasn't squeaking, that was something.
It seemed smoky or...
It does seem smoky.
Oh my God.
What?
My hand, the hair that stood up on my hand right here. Right here. It went back down, but for a second it just stood up in my hand. Hand only. That was the weirdest sensation.
There's some activity either in that basement or this kitchen. I don't know what that was, but me and Connie heard it playing.
What was it?
It was like a kind of noise.
You know what it feels like when you have static electricity?
Like that. That's what it sounded like. Like that.
When you get static electricity and your hair will stand up. That's what it felt like in my hand.
Was it the bathroom door?
That might be the noise. Listen, see what I can do it again. Yeah. So the bathroom door moved. Or some door or cabinet moved.
And my hair standing up on my...
Open that door and see if you hear that noise again.
Where?
Please.
And Tony and I had totally different experiences. I had good experiences. It was, a little girl ghost, and it was, exciting, and it was interesting, and on his end, he was getting, a lot of the more malicious.
Truth be told, I was scared to death that I was gonna, I'd seen it in movies before and stuff. The possession type thing, it scared me to death, and with the things that were happening when I'd be home alone in the house, scratching in the walls. I'd hear something behind the headboard of the bed that it just sounded like nails running up and down inside the wall.
And these were things I had never heard.
I'd constantly would hear whispering. It would sound like 6 to 7 people right in my ear just talking all at once, and I could never make anything out. But if I'd set up, it would quit. I'd lay down, it would start again.
Do you want us to leave this room? If so, can you make a noise? Tap on something, walk across the floor. You can open one of these cabinetries over here. You do that, and if you want us to leave, we'll leave.
Is that you making the light dim? If it is, can you do it again?
Do you hear that?
Yeah,
Where's that coming from?
me.
Okay.
It's pretty keyboards. Did you hear it the second time when I moved?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe it is the batteries. Maybe if I shake it, it will get brighter.
Open up one of those doors for us.
Was that you? That time?
I wasn't moving that time, no.
Did you hear?
I heard something. Is that you trying to open the door?
Is that you?
No, it's a clicking from over here. Can you click that? Can you tap on that door again?
Each time sightings came up, things escalated more. We had Peter James in there. We had a lot of, there was Carrie Gaynor, who's known on, some very important cases. And things got to the point where they got more dastardly, I'm going to say.
Well, the whole house just felt, it really started feeling heavier. I mean, it's hard to explain. It's just I know my mood changed when we were in there. I fighting between depression and just a lot of tension because I couldn't figure out why she couldn't understand. I felt like almost like sometimes she was putting me through it because we didn't just pack up and run. But at the same time, I really knew we were in no position to. We couldn't afford to at the time.
Well, and you were working midnights,
I was
which meant
working
he was
which
trying to
always
sleep
messes
during
with
the
sleep.
day. And sleeping during the day wasn't working because he kept getting the noises and the thrusts on the bed and things happening and the whispers and I thought his lack of sleep was kind of stirring his mind, and he was maybe, I don't want to say making up things, but that his mind was allowing a little illusion or delusion. I don't know. I mean, and that sounds bad.
If whenever you came up with an idea of that, I was more than happy to say, yeah, that's probably it, because I really didn't want to think that we had a ghost, or even after I saw it, it still, to this day, still puzzles me how an apparition can come through like that, or it boggles my mind.
Can you move the two balls here? The two white balls on the floor? Or the stuffed animal? Could you draw or write something on that pad for me? All you gotta do is touch it.
We're not here to hurt you. We just want to know that you're here.
Is your name Sally? If it's not, what is your name? How old are you? Is this your room? Do you like to hang out in this room, or do you have another favorite room inside the house that you like to hang out at?
Well, and things started to get more malicious as time went on, and we were only in the house just under 2 years before things started to get more harmful.
Mm-hmm.
We had fires that would spontaneously start in the house, the baby's toys and candles and other items.
And things thrown at people, like oil lamps. An oil lamp was thrown at my mother one day, and it flew all the way across the room, probably 15 foot, and right before it hit her, it just stopped and fell to the floor.
Well, that's because you yelled out, "Deb," because he knew that I kind of had this little spirit under control, and as soon as he said my name, it just dropped to the floor.
And that's when I started thinking, there's got to be more to this than just a little girl.
How long did you live here? Was there a house here when you were here?
Are you just a visitor? Did you never live here? What holds you here?
Do you want us to be here?
I was laying in bed, and we had a king-size waterbed, I believe it was. Wasn't it
Queen size.
Queen size. And the waterbed just started doing this, and I'm just kind of blowing it off at first to where it starts getting heavier, and it got to where it was like somebody was just on it, pushing to where it was flopping me all over the place. And at the same time it's doing that, I'm seeing what started to look like dust particles in front of sunlight. You know, it started, but then it got real dark, and it started taking shape, and I'm seeing this woman who I always, to me, she kind of resembled the woman that played the store owner's wife on Little House on the Prairie. And she's forming about that same time. I had a tall boy dresser at the end of the bed across the room. The whole top part lifted up, spun around, and set down. The door slammed shut, and at the same time, and it seemed like it just all happened at once. This apparition moved towards me, and she lunged at me with this hand, and I'll never, the hand, I even remember the black lace. It's like she had a black lace glove on, and she reached out at me, and I heard her say, "I'm gonna," and then it was gone. And at this time, I'm just, I mean, I got chills now talking about it. I was trying to scream, but I never thought it possible to be so scared that you can't scream. I was panicking because I couldn't get a scream out. And I finally, I believe I crawled over to the door and I was trying to open the door, and whether it was fear or what, I could not get the door to open. It just wouldn't do anything. And I'm really panicking. All of a sudden the door just kind of opens, and she's standing there, and she's like, "What is wrong with you?"
No reading. It's clear here. Is there anybody in this room that would like to communicate with us? You can start by telling us your name. Do you like the balls that we brought up here tonight for you guys to play with? You guys can play with those for tonight. Can you move one of them? Can you make that noise again?
Yeah,
You heard that?
I did.
Okay.
It seemed like after that had happened, my mood really started to change to where I would wake up in the morning and I would just be so mad. I literally wanted to hurt something. And it started being focused to her. That's all I could think about was, yeah, no matter what she said or did, it just annoyed me so bad. And I remember one particular day when it had gotten so bad that I'd really thought about hurting her when she came home from work. I mean, it got to the point where I thought I was going to stab her when she came home from work. That's how bad it was. And something, thank God, kicked in and said, you know, we've got to get out of here. And
Well, and what was interesting was that when we would leave the house,
yeah,
his disposition would change. He would feel himself again, and like a weight had been lifted off, or the dark cloud that had been, you know, kind of encasing him would change. And we'd get back to the house after a day at Mom and Dad's, and he'd be back in that funk kind of mode.
If you want us to leave, give us a sign.
Any sign. You can tap something lightly, roll the ball, click on the window.
Make that light up on the meter.
You can touch one of us too if you like, if you're curious about us and what we're like.
If you want to hold my hand, you can come hold my hand. I won't mind.
Or mine. We'll just put them out here.
We really just want to be your friend.
And I think at one point he told me, he says, you know, he warned me that I think somebody's going to get hurt. He said, and I think it's going to be you.
I think it's going to be you because.
And I couldn't fathom that because I'm not the one that had been getting any of this negative stuff. And you know, again, I thought that, you know, his mind was just kind of rolling with, you know, his experiences or his delusions, or you know, and I feel so bad saying that now because I should have listened more. I should have given you more credibility for knowing what you were talking about, and I'm so sorry. But
This is Jody and Shelley going upstairs to the boys' room. And we're going to boys' room first.
Okay, this closet closest to the window. There's supposed to be some kind of inscription in here left by the former owners.
I'm like feeling a little weird.
Me too, I'm out of breath.
I think we should go back down. Are you feeling it?
I feel out of breath.
Yeah, let's go back
I
down.
just walked 3 flights of stairs instead of 1 flight of stairs.
Okay, we're going back downstairs. Oh no, man.
What's wrong? You guys keep me on quick.
Yeah, it's all heavy up there. We're having problems breathing, and I was just
it was
creeped
like
out.
we were just climbing 3 or 4 flights of stairs, not 6 stairs or 10 stairs.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for that inscription. I couldn't find it, but I was focused on.
I just felt wrong. I was like, we ain't go back down.
I'd come walking out of the bedroom one day and I was in a really horrible mood and just upstairs kind of pacing around, and I'd come walking out of the bedroom and it felt like something just hit me right in the back, you know, like a football player, you know, back in high school tackled me in the back or something. And I remember flying and I hit the railing hard enough to knock out a couple rungs with my leg of the railing of the stairs. And
you said you don't know what really stopped you from going up and over the
Yeah.
railing and down the stairs.
so that was pretty much when she came home from work.
And said it was too much.
I said I can't take it anymore.
At that point, I realized that there was more danger in the house than I was comfortable with, and you know, I feel bad that it took me that long to get to the point to say, okay, you know, I give up. You know, don't do this anymore for me, because I think that we stayed in the house in a large part because of my interest in the paranormal and my wanting to gain more from the experiences that we were having there.
I'll sit mine in the middle just to see. Can you pick up that device that I just set on the floor there? Could you pick it up and hand it to me? you tell us about your parents? Could you make a noise for us, please?
How long did you live here? Did you like it here?
Did you live here? Or are you just here visiting?
Since leaving the house, we've got some experiences that it's almost as if that house still kind of reaches out.
It's like
to
it has
us.
a grasp on you and just wants to keep pulling you back. And we had made the mistake of going back once to investigate.
Well, over the course of a good, Tony steered clear of the house for about 10 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't even drive by it for a long time.
And during that time period, I was going in with other investigators and other groups, and because they still wanted answers, and he didn't have a problem with me going back. He just knew that he didn't want to go back. And eventually, I want to say about 2000, late in 2005, we had a group that presented some EVP, electronic voice phenomena, that rather presented the idea that it was human spirit that he was dealing with, and it wasn't demons that he thought it was.
And that took a lot of fear away from me, because I was thinking, okay, I can probably deal with ghosts. It was the demon aspect, the exorcist type thing that just scared
Terrified,
me.
yeah.
And so I started feeling a little more comfortable.
I guess Mike came in and laid his voice recorder right here on the table. It completely flipped off and landed on the floor, and the batteries were knocked out of it. So that's pretty interesting. And I was standing over here by the fridge, and I turned around and saw kind of what happened. I saw it fall. And I was like,
I
did you
heard
knock
the
that off?
noise.
You know? And he's like, no, I don't think he was over here by the table. He wasn't even really right up next to it. So that's pretty interesting. You want to play with our stuff? We don't mind. Just try not to break it. Okay, I'm gonna push my button on my meter.
I'll do a little reading over here by your recorder. Is this kind of where it fell?
I'd kind of gotten into the trap that, okay, maybe it is just...
We felt comfortable again in the house as investigators, and I think that's I don't want to pat ourselves on the back, but it's a different thing to be driven out of your house and just walk away from it and end the story there.
It felt like we were gaining some control back, at least for me, because I felt like, this thing took over, kicked me out, and I kind of felt like, okay, I'm going back in now, and
I'm in control.
yeah.
Is there anybody in this room with us tonight? Can you tell us your name, please?
Can you give us a sign that you're here? Move the ball on the floor.
You can play with the ball if you would like to tonight. Kick it around or move it. Can you make a noise for us, like knocking on the wall 3 times? Like that? Do you know what the date is? Can you tell me what the date is or what year it is? Are you scared of us? There's no need to be afraid. We're just here to communicate. That's all. Could you turn a light on for me?
I walked into the master bedroom. Deb was already in there, and she was taking. You were smudging, weren't you? And I'd walked in. I had a camera, and I was just going to snap a few photos and see if we'd get anything show up. And as soon as I walked past the doorway, I got the worst feeling of nausea and dizziness. I had to stop for a minute, and I'm standing there, and I remember you saying something like, "Are you all right?" And
Yeah, I had just happened to turn my glance towards him, noticing that there was just something about him that you could tell he was a little off. He wasn't feeling well or something, and I asked if he was all right. And I glanced back to finish what I was doing, and as I looked back at him, he just lifted about a foot off the ground and flew 4 feet backwards, hit the wall. Or actually the door that hit the wall.
And I just remember being hit because I just remember the air going out of me. It just...
Well, and it hit him so hard that one of his lace-up boots was still on the floor where he stood.
Yeah, knocked me plumb out of my boot.
The cell phone that you had on your hip melted.
Is there anybody here who would like to communicate with us? Can you make a noise for us?
What was that?
Can you make that noise again if that was you?
You didn't hear it?
No.
It's behind me.
Yeah.
What kind of noise was
I
it?
can't hear my EMF meter over here. Can you make that noise again? Can you open one of these cabinets for me? Can you tell me your name?
How old are you in here? Or how many of you are in this kitchen with us?
Waking up and Deb's by my side telling me
I
to
screamed.
hold on or
I'm asking him. I'm telling him I love him. And Renee came from around the corner,
and I remember trying to sit up but I couldn't. It just felt like something was just on top of me, just pinning
you
me to
could
the
see
ground.
the strain in the muscles in his neck as he's trying to lift up.
And that had me really scared, and I'm just trying to sit up. About that time Renee had come around the corner, and I remember her saying,
In the name
in
of
the name of God, let him go.
Let him go. Let him be. Leave him alone.
I think she hollered it twice.
She hollered it, and then we started chanting it, in the name of God, let him be.
And it did. It just let go, and we saw our chance.
We told him just hold on to the railing, go downstairs and out the door, and we collected what we had left in the house, flipped off the light switches that we could reach on our way out, and we were gone.
Yeah.
A little bit on the microwave, but that's expected. I ain't got nothing. What was that? Make that noise again. Nothing here. I'm gonna set this here. I'll set this right here. That was me making a noise. Is there anybody in this room that would like to communicate with us? Did you used to live in this house? Did this used to be the kitchen always? Have you ever cooked in this kitchen? you open up one of the cabinets slowly for me? Open it about halfway. Could you tap on the cabinets for me 3 times? Let me know that you're here. How about this? Connie here put some words on the fridge for you, some letters. Could you spell something out on the fridge for us that we can understand? We brought those for you to play with tonight. Yeah, feel free to spell something out anytime tonight or leave us a message.
It's just crazy.
We've never been back since.
No,
There's no reason to. There's nothing there for us. There's nothing more that we can learn. It's
there's something
it's
there that,
manipulative. It draws you in until you're comfortable and then kind of ambushes you.
and if it can do that, I mean, I don't know what it's capable of. And I don't want to put me or her or, anybody at risk, so.
What do you like to do? How long have you been here?
What's the best meal you prepared in here? What kind of food did you like to cook?
Is that you? Connie? You heard that noise, right?
I heard a creak.
It was like I don't know if it was a creak. Yeah, kind of a poof.
A pop?
Can you make that noise again?
And we have a lot of people ask us, they call, a lot of people still think we live there, and we haven't for 16 years now. Going on 16.
Almost 15.
And they'll say, well, we'd like to get in there and investigate it, and, I'm not going to tell anybody no. All I can do is warn them, tell them the experiences I had, and
warn them of what to be aware of when they do go in, because it can be scary. It can be downright bad, especially if you're not knowing what you're getting into. And we try and make ourselves available to anybody who needs information on the house, to let them know, like Tony said, our experiences and what might be expected, and to help them understand maybe how to approach their visit if they do get in. And we're often invited in. We'll never go back again.
Was that you making a noise? Can you make a noise again for us? It's not that. Those aren't squeaking.
Jody, you said you heard it by the front door?
It's over in this area.
Can you make that noise for us again? I heard it. It said squeak, squeak, squeak. Okay, let's make that noise. It's not that. Let's try to debunk this. Windows are tight. That makes more of a crunching noise than that one. It's not that. I don't see anything out here that could already tried that. There's nothing out here that can make that noise.
It wasn't the door squeaking?
Huh?
Try the knob in case someone, try to turn the knob in case someone came up to the door and tried to get in. Like that outer door knob. See if that makes a squeak.
Huh?
When you turn that knob, does that make a squeak?
This knob?
Yeah.
Did you make a noise in here? Can you shut the door all the way? Okay. To the basement. We've had a lot of weird, unexplainable stuff going on.
Noise is on right now. Oh, you can go first. There's a squeak right there.
No, I wasn't gonna squeak. It was high pitch.
Like that?
It was like squeak, squeak, squeak.
What?
Do you want to do the basement?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not quite sure. Got this really weird feeling. As soon as I got this far to the door, it just felt like a heaviness or something. I don't know what caused that. Nothing, no readings, no EMFs to cause that feeling. Normally there's a light or something right there.
Didn't get any high readings down there except right at the base of the stairs. It was like a 4.
Not even there.
No.
Listen. There's noises coming from down there. What do you guys think?
You want me to go first?
You want to go first?
I can, or we can wait and I'll do the basement at the same time later. That make you feel better?
I don't know. I usually go with my gut instinct. My gut's saying, don't go down the stairs.
Okay, then let's not.
Okay.